All right. Okay. So today is August 2nd, 2024. Is the Friday. I took two trades today. Um, Here's how I took them. I took two micro trades, and then I added to that trade. I ended up stopping out, and then I took five micro trades at a level that I like. I didn't get it. My um, entry numbers were all messed up because I went to 2 to 1 on this one, and I never reset it back to the number I wanted. So, but I wanted to enter five on that trade, and so I entered five because the entry looked the area of interest looked good. So let's see here. I went short on both of them. As you can see that I was kind of like just clicking the sell button as I realized that I needed to click it multiple times, and I changed it to two. I did exit um, at a certain level based on what I saw on the charts and based on potential reversal, which we kind of did get, and the fear of closing the day red, I would say. So I'm gonna go into it. Let's go into the screenshots. These trades are here, and I told you about the trade that I missed. So we kind of had like this uptrend, breakout, uptrend, and then it looked like we were having another breakout on the 1 minute right here, and then my stop loss was up here. I went in two micros because the stop was just so wide, about what 12 points, and I said, well, typically I would risk one ES on 6 points, and or five micros with 6 points, but I'm not gonna risk five micros on 12 points to risk 300 bucks. It just didn't make sense for me based on just I never looked for a large range move of 12 points for an exit typically. So I scaled down a lot, saying, "Well, I just want to see if the trade is going to work out." I was iffy about staying in the trade once I realized that on the 5 minute chart that we never really closed below the channel, but we did open out of the channel. We never closed below the channel. We opened out of the channel, and I said, "Well, I'm going to see how it plays out." Price eventually started to reverse, and since it didn't look like it wanted to be a keeper, right, it looked like a double bounce, I took the full exit. And I think maybe where I exit, no, I took the full exit. So I took the full exit at 40, and then 15 minutes later, I saw the entry that I wanted to get into. So I took the full exit at 40. I exit maybe 2 points before my stop loss was realized, about 10 points, and but we're bouncing off of VWAP, right? And we're bouncing off of this level here, which is the pre-market um, low, right, from news, from the 8:30 news, the non-farm payroll. So initially it looked like we were bouncing, but price, I started selling here, and I said, okay, I'm interested in going short. But when I entered, price went back in. I probably should have exit right away, but I wanted to see what would come of that trade. Price started pushing up higher, and so like I said, I took an exit, and then I took the next trade. When I saw this candle, I really like this candle, and I saw this break happening. I like this doji here. I like the wick. I like this doji on the 15 minute. I like the fact that we held this level. I like the fact that the 30 minute held. I know that we were buying down here, but the buying wasn't very strong. If you can see down here that we're still kind of within that range, and we were still strong, more strongly aggressive selling, and the buying would have to come for me down here around the 53.40. So I said, well, maybe we're gonna come back down, retest 53.40, and then eventually move up. So I took the trade once we were breaking out. Stop loss about, I think I fixed it to a little bit higher, but it's still about 10 points. But I went 5 micros because I felt more confident in the trade, and trying to get um, the exit down here. So 5 micros on about 10 points, which is 300 to make about 600, I think, more or less, 400 maybe. So what I saw in the trade was this here, where we had some strong volume after the volume that came in. I said, well, this will be a tough area price needs to break. I saw price heading towards it. And I said, well, if we stay here, we don't break strongly, we're probably going to reverse back up before moving either back down. Typically, these doji candles don't really hold price, but they do bounce price from what I've seen. And I do like it when it's a continuation bounce. Like if the price was down here and it came to it, I'd look for a retest and then move lower. But this, for me, inverted, if it bounced here, it may move up and then move lower. But I don't know how further up it would go. You know, if it would come back to my stop loss or my entry area, or if it would go up to this area up here, right? I don't know how far it's going to go, so I wasn't going to risk it um, for that purpose. So price did come down to that level. You see, you had a strong selling. We have a strong wick. It should be clearer on the here, right? We had a strong selling, strong wick, and price jumped back in. I took my first exit at 55. I was aiming for 48 or 40, really. When I saw that strong wick pop up at that level, I said, screw it. I'm taking my exit here. And I took 3 contracts off because I knew that it made up for my first initial loss, because that was above 10 points. And the last loss was about 10 points, right? And I was above 10 points. So I said I knew that 1, 2, 3 should cover that. Now let's see if I'm correct. Let's see here. 95 plus 45 minus 71.25 minus 72.50 minus 66.25. Right, so that left me $70 green on the day for just that one, right? And I would have loved my stop loss to. Right, so that's Right, so that's a pretty good trade. So that was like almost a $200 210 trade right here, right, making up for that loss from the previous right here, which is like about 150. I feel like I can't count. 40 maybe, 100, 140. So making up for that. So like I said, I really wanted my exit to be at 48, but really at 40 where the buying came in at, and it worked very well with my Heikin Nashi level because it's down here, and that's where I wanted price to go to. Price did bounce, so I'll go to the regular charts. Right after that exit here, that's not it. I'm way down here. There we go. After that exit here, price did bounce and bounce pretty good. All right. There's no way I would have held this 11-point retracement, or I would say a 14-point retracement. And then if I did leave those other two, I'd break even. I would have been fine. And then I just walked away. But I wanted to be at 40, so I would have really lost it anyways because I would have been stopped out. Right, I would have been like a few points away. Right, maybe 141, 1 point, 1 point away. 40, yeah, about 1 point away, and that would have really sucked. But I took my exit and I walked away from the computer because I saw the volume was coming in, and but price wasn't breaking. Like I said, these places don't usually hold price for too long, which you saw it bounced up and then price continued lower, and then it came near the area that I had marked. I wonder if we do have any volume down here that's high. This is our highest volume. That's too far up. We already broke that several times. This is our next 10K volume, and right here, so this one right here, right? So this would be our parameter to work with. I'm going to go to just a clear chart, and this is the area that we'll see price might come to, and lo and behold, there it is, right? So maybe I was a little bit too hard on that level where I wouldn't come to 47 to 42, but it's kind of hard to really find those key levels while you're in the heat of the moment. And I really like the Heikin Nashi level, which was like right here. So I could have just said, well, we're close to it, and look for the reversal. So I'll go back into that in a bit. So for me exiting early, I felt good. Just taking the trade here, taking that 14-point move and just calling it a day. I think I got out at 56 on one of them too. So about 13 point move and calling it a day. Even though I was risking about, 10 points, so it's like a one-to-one trade. But I had to acknowledge the fact that I did have a roadblock that I noticed as the trade was working in my favor, and I needed to not try to force the market to move in my favor and end up getting my behind destroyed by wanting price to move in my favor, because we had a strong sell and then we have a wick and then break, right? But we don't have any volume coming in, which I probably could have noticed, and I could have waited for like a channel break on a higher time frame, because we didn't have any channels really. Price was just dropping, but we did have this channel like that, right? So that's that. So the trades that I missed, let's get into the trades that I missed, and I'm gonna start with the morning trade. I'm gonna get rid of this here. I'm gonna go into the screenshot actually right over here. Alright, so we had this morning trade. Let's check to open it up. Alright, so this is the morning trade that I missed. We had some volume that I noticed that we had buying in, and I said, okay, we have some buying down here, and but when I looked deeper into the 15-minute, the 5-minute, it was actually selling, right? The buying was actually selling, that was happening, and then eventually price. So if I go here, selling here, selling here, right? So if we go to the higher time frame, these buyings that price is supposed to be bouncing off of were all selling, and then when the news came out, price moved up to my level that was previously broken and then broke through this strongly, probably taking out any stop losses that were down here. That was expecting price to move higher because quote unquote buying came in, but price never really moved up for it to be a potential buying area. So, but these did catch my attention in the morning, but I didn't know how to work with it, so I was only working with the news candle, which I couldn't even work with because I didn't like how it looked. So so after saying all of that, the trade that I missed occurred when we had a pullback into that level where I can get a good here, right? Not clean, right? Wouldn't touch that one. Oh, this is the opening candle. Yeah, pull back into that level, price push down, and then I also missed this trade here. This is the first trade I missed. Price had a nice little move. I'm gonna go over that one first because that was supposed to be a small buy before the market opened, because I was looking for a setup, and that one actually looked clean from what I can remember. It looked pretty clean. So here we go. We had a strong buy, and then I had adjusted it like this. I think I adjusted it like that, and entry would have been at this candle right here, right, and straight to the one right there. All of this was in here, and then that would be it, right, and that's about 7 points to make 15, right. So I was looking for that, and then exit that trade. So that was the first trade that I missed, and I was still looking for longs, I'm not gonna lie, but I couldn't find a good decent um, channel to save my life, because I was trying to make this into a channel, but then we pushed down. I said, what is going on? So I couldn't find a channel, and I didn't want to get into a channel where we broke already, because that has not been working out for me. So if I go back to what I was stating here, when we came to this level here, we had a pullback, straight up pullback. That was steep, but price held here with this inverted hammer candle, and we had some yeah, we had this nice hammer candle that I like. So then I would look for a wick that's breaking and enter. So this here could have entered here or on the retest, either or. This one here is pretty steep. This is about what, 20 points, but if we zoom out, get rid of that, it's about 20 points, but if we zoom out, we can see that price dropped a lot of points. All right, it dropped 68 points, which would have been a good reward. Was that 17 points, right? This 2-to-1 is 35, and then 68. So if I went in 1 micro, 17 or 2 micros. So let's do the math here. So 5 times 2 times 17, that's the risk, 170. 5 times 2 times 35, right? Let's just say it's 35 times 35. That's the reward. Times that by 2. That's the additional reward. And just letting price go, because once we reach down here, we kind of just started dropping hard, right? And let's say I exit here at this level, which I should exit at, which is about 57 points. So 5 times 2 times 57, that would have been a good move. If I did my standard 300 risk, what's 300? What's 5 times 3 times 17? Nope. 5 times 5 times 17. So much. 5 times 4 times 17. Right, so 5 times 3 times 17. Yeah. 5 times 3 times 57. Right, that would have been a good trade-off, you know, on just that move there based on the risk. And I'm not gonna go 2 micros for that, even 1 micro, because 5 times, not 5, 50 times 17, that's an $850 risk versus 50 times, right? I mean, that's a good reward, but you know, it's a 3 to 1 reward, but I'm not sure it's worth putting myself in that stressful area just to make that where I can just continue honing my craft with my levels that I see. But this would have been a nice trade. I probably would have gotten spooked somewhere in there. Let's see what my entry would have been. Yeah, if I took that, this pullback would have probably made me shit pooped myself a little bit. This deep pullback, you know, putting me like, what was that, 10, 7 points away. Hoping that we stay above this because I had to exit at 13. So 13 times 50, that's 650. That's a lot to be risking, right? And but that sell off after that would have been, whew, just a nice breath of move. And then so exiting even between 57 and 50 would have been a good move, and then initial balance was never set. So that was the trade that I missed here in the morning. I had a little bit of FOMO, but I was like, I can't really have FOMO because there's nothing I can do. We did have a little pullback here that I also did miss, but the volume was never low enough for me to say there was a valid pullback. And the reason why I thought that this trade would work, because we had a 5-minute break at this level, even though the 15 and the 30-minute pushed up. I said we're likely going to move below this level. The bounce of the probability of buying continuing is still very low, because we broke and we reversed, but buying never stepped in. We didn't have buying at this level. We had selling. We had buying afterwards, but price never continued higher before pushing back. So I said we're going to continue selling off, and that's exactly what we did. I just couldn't read this here at the moment. So now that I have a better idea of what to look for when I see these, I'm going to work on marking them, especially during news or heavy news where we slice through a level. So yeah, and then the other level that I had was down here where we had buying on a red candle and price moved up, and that's what I was looking for my next trade. But I opted out for the selling portion of the trade because we were hitting that level above and the buying didn't look strong yet. So I opted for the selling portion of this trade, and I would have to look for a channel that made sense, that was clear, that wasn't like forced. And so maybe something like this looks good. I don't like this, but I do like this here. Maybe even, let's see if we can find something here. That. Okay, maybe like this here. Yeah, this one here is good. All right. So if we go into the 1 minute, and let's see if I'm forcing this early trade. So we have break at 57, price closed below it, above it. So enter here, stop loss about here. I may have stopped out early, and then maybe I would have entered the trade again. This looks good. So I don't have to like readjust myself to find the entry. So let's see here. I need to actually first I need to find a 15-minute. This is something I did not do. I need to find a 15-minute thing. So we have here going into that. So if I waited for that, I could have waited for this perhaps, or even a tighter range of this right here. Alright, here, price still holding, looking, and then boom, buying. Alright, and then was that 6 points? But I think I would have my my thing a little earlier. Probably would have been like that, but I have to respect the fact that I need these wicks to help me find clean entries, and I just wasn't getting any clean entries. This first one looked good, but it failed. Right, stopped me out. Then the second one here would have been the nice trade. here. Price failed. Probably would have exit early. Um, and then we had a push up, which would have caught my attention, and I probably would have wanted to move my price lower. Not gonna lie, but I would not have like this pullback, which probably would have caught my attention again. And then we've eventually had the continuation move. So, and I don't want to try 3 times at a level. I would have said I should have just waited for price to come down here. But we're holding this initial balance, so this one probably would have been a tough day for me, and I'd have to size down for the risk. So one ES contract, 300, maybe another 300 or 600. But if we're able to catch this move up by 23 points, you know, minus the 700 I would have missed earlier, that would have been that for the day, right? So it's hard to really like, when price starts to fail, I don't really like being in the trade. I like price to just really move like this or really move like that, because once we break, I want the price to just continue. Because my stop is usually down here. All right, so that's it for me for today. I wonder if I put a channel at the beginning, would that help? That's it for me for today, and yeah, I'll be back on Monday or Tuesday, and I'm gonna continue back testing during the week and during the weekend.